This conference will now be recorded.
Others? Okay. Yeah. So we are done with the MDF foundation objects, right? All of the legal entity, business unit, division, department, and cost center we have created. Now we'll go and create the foundation objects. There are some foundation objects which are part of org structure, job and pay. Okay. So we'll have to create them. So these are created under manage organization, pay and job structure. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we'll create all of the objects that we have in under manage organization pay and job structure. Let's go here and see. We'll start with the location group. The first object that we have is the location group. Now location group is not required for all the customers. Now some customers where if you are implementing for a retail industry, you might need location group. It is nothing but a group of locations formed together, forms a location group. Okay, so let's say your customer has got their operations in hundreds of cities in one country. Okay, so just to report or just to know how much business you're doing in one particular region, or or a bunch of cities together, how much your business you're making, so you can group the locations into one group. So I'll just, for the sake of creating, I'll just create one location group. Okay, or we can also leave it Wipro LG Wipro location group. Any of we don't use this in the job information. If required, we can add this in the job information. Okay, that's it. Simple. Next is a geozone. Same as your location group. Again, if you want to segregate your locations into different geozones, you can also add a geozone. I'll just add one geozone. Which is Wipro geozone. Okay, adjustment percentage, if you have multiple geozones and you do certain percentage of business in one area, let's say you've created 4 zones like north, south, east, and west. Okay, and each of these areas you're doing some business, like one area you are doing 20% of business, other area you're doing 40% of business. So you can segregate that into adjustment percentage. Okay, otherwise you can also leave the adjustment percentage. This is now, even if you maintain, it is nowhere used. If you want to just to report, then you can take out a report. Otherwise, not so useful. But location, yes, every customer we have to create minimum of one location. If a company exists, that means the company exists in one particular location. So we need to maintain minimum of one location, and maximum can be any number. So depending on your customer's operations, you can go and create the locations. So I'll create a couple of locations here. Now it can be the same thing. Code can be either numerics or the alphabets, or it a combination of alphabet and numeric. Let's say I want to have it as Wipro. So I'm adding each and every object with the name, with my company name, so that it would be easy to search. But in real time, you will not add the company name in any of the objects. If it is Hyderabad, you create a location called Hyderabad, or if it is Bangalore, you just create a location called Bangalore. Don't use your company name, just because people must have already created a Bangalore or Mumbai or Delhi or Chennai. So just to differentiate or just to identify my location easily, I'm naming them with my company name. Okay, so Wipro Hyderabad, I'll say Wipro Hyderabad. Location group, we have created our location, right? Just location group, just add it. Time zone, these are the standard time zones which are available in the system. Just choose the appropriate time zone. Okay, you'll find all the time zones of the world. Standard weekly hours, this is the second place where you can maintain standard weekly hours. We have already maintained at company level. Again, if you have different standard weekly hours based on location, you can maintain it here. Otherwise, you can leave it blank. Geozone we have created, so just add the geozone to your location. Legal entity is associated with location and it is one to many, but we have only one company which we have created. So just add your company there. And corporate address or business address, which is part of your country specific corporate data model. So depending on the country that you choose, you'll get your states. You'll get your address format. You just choose a state or whatever fields that are mandatory. You go maintain and say save. Your location is created. One location is created. I'll create couple of locations, like 3 or 4 locations, so that I'll also see how to transfer an employee from one location to other location, how to move an employee from one location to other location. Any doubts here? I'll just quickly create. Let me show you here 45. So none of these fields are mandatory. Yes, save it. Next location. Save. Okay, so the next object that we have is, I've created 3 locations. The next object that we have is the pay range. But before creating pay range, I'll go and create pay grade, because pay grade is a mandatory associate for pay range. What are grades? Pay grades or grades? What are grades? No idea? What are grades? Where do we use grades? Pay grades are bands. Okay.
Band 1, 2, 3.
Sorry?
So it's basically designation the grades are there na. Just example, one is a officer level, one is worker level, one is supervisor level. And that way also we can make the pay grades, correct?
Pay grades are used to differentiate the pay structure, or pay of the employees in the organization. Okay, it is used to differentiate the pay structure. Similarly, you have job code, which is used to differentiate the job level of the employees, or the pay level, pay grade in the pay structure. Okay, job code in the job structure and pay grade in the pay structure. Now the examples of your grades, now it can be anything. Some might call it as 10B, 11B, 12B, or 13B, or some may call it B1, B2, B3, and B4. So it can be anything. Let's say P1, P2, P3, P4, and P5. What is P2, P3, P4, and P5? So you just have to name it. Now P1, let's say I want to have it as trainee, and P2 I want to have it as executives, manager, president, and CEO. So these are the grades. So while creating the grades, you will have to give the level as well, the pay level. Because with the pay grade, you cannot say whether the employee is being promoted or demoted. Now, if I am moving an employee from executive to manager, what is that? When you are changing a grade of an employee from executives to manager, what is that?
P3.
What is that action called?
Demotion or
Executive to
Promotion.
manager.
Promotion.
Executive to manager is promotion.
Promotion.
Okay. Now, if I do the same thing in the reverse way, if I move an employee from manager to executive,
It's a demotion.
it is a demotion. But system cannot identify whether it is a promotion or demotion with the text. If you have 20 or 30 grades, like assistant manager, manager, senior manager, deputy manager, general manager, assistant general manager, deputy general manager, or senior general manager. So if you have these many grades, system cannot identify when you move an employee from one grade to other grade, system cannot identify what is that action. Is it a promotion or a demotion? Now we also have pay grade level, which can be only number. So you need to number them like this. So with the pay grade level, system understands whether the employee is being moved from lower level to higher level or from higher level to lower level, higher to lower or lower to higher. So 2 is always less than 3. If you move an employee from 2 to 3, 2 is always less. 3 is always greater than 2. So this is promotion. So you maintain pay grade level as well. And this pay grade level is only number. It says it is showing up in the red color because it should only be a number. Invalid pay grade level, expected a number. So this is a number field. So let me go. I'll add P1 Wipro trainees. Pay grade level, I'll say 1 and save. So we have a field called code underscore string, which is a which is just a test field which defaults the pay grade ID when you save the record. Okay. So let me create those grades. P2 and I'll call it as Wipro executives. Level is 2. Now, if I move an employee from trainees to executive, system will go check what is the level, whether the employee is being moved to higher level or lower level. And it gives you the action, promotion or demotion. Let's say P3, which is Wipro managers, level 3. I'll quickly create 2 more levels. P4. President, and this is level 4. Save. And pay grade P5. I'll call it Pro CEO. And this is level 5. Save. Okay. So I've created grades. The next object that we have is the pay range. Now, what is a pay range? This is pay grade. This is pay grade level. This is pay grade level. And this is pay grade ID. Okay. The next object that we have is the pay range, which is linked with your pay grade. Okay. Now, what are pay ranges? Any idea? The salary range defined for each of the grade. Now, in pay range, we have minimum, mid, and max. Minimum, mid, and max. So for each of the grade, you define the minimum salary, mid salary, and max salary. And where are these pay ranges used? Pay ranges are used to calculate the benchmarking techniques called compare ratio and range penetration. Did anybody heard about compare ratio and range penetration?
Yeah, when compare ratio is like the comparing the employee salary with the minimum
No, it is
and
with mid.
mid. Okay, and range penetration is also something like that. I don't remember that though.
Where do we use this?
In compensation,
Why do we use this?
we use it to compare employee salary. If it is less than, the compare ratio is less than 100%. That means the employee salary is below the market rate, or so there are
No.
chances that employee may leave the organization, something like that.
Yeah. So basically, these benchmarking techniques are used in two places mainly while doing the recruitment and compensation planning. Okay. So for every grade, the organizations maintain the pay ranges, the minimum, mid, and max salary. So let's say for trainee, I have a salary of 5 lakhs, mid salary of 7 lakhs 50,000, and max of 10 lakhs. Now, all the trainees that I hire should have a salary between minimum and maximum. You should have a range of either, no, it should be between the range of 5 to 10 lakhs. Now, if it is going outside the maximum salary or if it is less than the minimum salary, system will alert you. Now, instead of checking at the pay ranges, we use the benchmarking techniques called compare ratio or range penetration. Now, your compare ratio is calculated as annual salary divided by midpoint or mid salary, whereas the range penetration is calculated as annual salary minus minimum salary divided by max minus minimum salary. So this will tell you where exactly the employee salary is in a particular range on a scale of the minimum and max, where exactly the employee salary is falling. Now this way, companies make sure that every employee that they are hiring, their salaries are based on the ranges that are within the ranges that are defined as per policy. You cannot move an employee, or you cannot have this training as 12 lakhs or 15 lakhs because system doesn't allow, because this will be outside the guidelines or outside the ranges that you have defined. And these are the formulas that companies use across the globe. These are the standard formulas. You cannot alter these formulas. These are the standard formulas. Now, range penetration cannot be more than 100%. In no cases it will be more than 100%. Whereas this can go up to 120 or 130%, 130 or 135% maximum. So it cannot be more than 135 or 100%. Now, in this example, if I have offered a candidate with 6 lakhs, I'll add the salary here. annual salary of 6 lakhs. Now, if I have to calculate range penetration, annual salary minus minimum salary divided by maximum salary minus minimum salary into 100 to give the percentage. So it is 20%. Now, on the scale of 1 to 100, you're paying the employee 20%. If I keep increasing this, let's say I give here 8 lakhs instead of 6 lakhs, it becomes 60%. Now, same thing here, your annual salary divided by midpoint into 100 gives you the percentage. 106% and 60%. Now, if I make it 10 lakhs, this is 100 and this is 133. Now, we use these formulas in recruitment and in compensation planning when planners or the managers review the employee salary. Every year, managers has to recommend some salary increase for their employees. While reviewing, system will not allow the manager to input a value if it is going beyond 100%. If the range penetration is going beyond 100%. Manager will input only the amount. Based on the current salary, either he will input the percentage or your amount. There, if it is going beyond your range penetration, now companies may use only range penetration or only compare ratio or both compare ratio and range penetration. Okay. Now, let's go to pay range. Now, what is this? This is a minimum salary. This is a mid salary and max salary. Now, is this salary paid monthly, quarterly, half yearly, or annual? How frequently is it paid? So this is called frequency. Frequency is also a foundation object. So we have frequencies monthly, hourly, quarterly, half yearly, bi-weekly, bi-monthly, and so on, annual, and so on. So you need to tell the system what is the frequency, if it is paid annual or monthly or quarterly. And what currency is it? Depending on your country, depending on your company, you choose the currency of the pay range. So let's go here, maintain the pay range. Wipro PR01. I'll have it as Wipro trainee pay range. Status active. Currency is INR. Frequencies, we have all of the standard frequencies, annual, bi-monthly, bi-weekly, daily, and so on. I'll select annual. What is the minimum pay? Here, I choose minimum pay as 5 lakhs, maximum pay as 10 lakhs, midpoint as 7.5 lakhs. Pay grade is a mandatory association. Now it is not it doesn't show up as mandatory, but pay grade, we are defining the pay ranges for the pay grades. So P1, which is our Wipro trainee. Now this is one of the object where we will be making changes in the object. Depending on your customer needs, you'll be making changes here. Now, pay grade is a mandatory. Everybody uses pay grade. Other than pay grade, what other objects can be used as your association? It can be anything. Now, here we have geozone as 1-to-1, legal entity as 1-to-1, and location as 1-to-1. Now, in real time, you may not see location. You may see entity, but again, if it is required, you can add. But if you don't want, you can remove the association in the corporate data model. Now, when do we use these associations? Now, other than pay grade, what all associations we use and when do we use? Now, in case where your customer has got operations in different countries, But all of these countries, they are using the same pay grades. Across the organization, we have the same grade. Now, pay ranges cannot be same because every country has got a different currency. Now, you cannot give 5 lakh USD or 10 lakh USD for a trainees per annum. Okay, this is Indian currency. Now, if your company, if your customer has got operations in different countries, you define pay ranges for trainees plus the country. So add additional criteria there as a country or company, because every company or every country will have a different company. So you create for each country, you create a different company. So either add a country or you add a company. Sometimes even if your customer is operating only from one country, if you have locations, if you have different locations, they operate from different locations in India. You have Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Mumbai, Nagpur, Pune, okay, Vizag, or some places in some cities in India. Now you have here both metro cities and non-metro cities. Sometimes the salaries of the employees in metros is different than your non-metros, right? So if I have Bangalore or Mumbai, which is a metro city, and we also have Nagpur or Nasik, will the manager of Bangalore and Nagpur will have the same salary? No, because of the cost of living in metro cities, salaries may be the higher side. So in this case, you can also use location as your association. Okay, so if I go here, maintain. Now, if I don't maintain location, system will only consider these three: pay grade, geozone, and legal entity, combination of these three. If I maintain location, for other pay grades also, for other pay ranges also, I have to define the location. Okay. Now, if I have to show you on the employee level, let me go to one of the employee. Employment, sorry, your compensation, current pay. On the current pay, you have your annual salary, then you have your compare ratio. Compare ratio is showing as 109. Now system calculates this compare ratio, you don't have to do anything. Now how is this getting calculated? Compare ratio, annual salary by midpoint. And how is system picking up the midpoint? We don't have midpoint anywhere here. How is system picking up? System picking up this minimum or maximum from the pay range. Now this is the pay range. Why is this pay range used? Because of the grade that this employee is in. This employee is in GR08. Grade, geozone is this one, and legal entity is this one. With this combination, we have a pay range called this one. So now if I go here, search for this pay range. Pay range. This one. Now see here, the company is 1710. Geozone is this one, and grade is this one. So this employee's grade is 08. This employee belongs to 1710, and geozone is US underscore suburban. Okay, so with this combination, we have the pay range, this one, and on this pay range, we have minimum salary of 65,702. This one, maximum of 96,760. So system picks up these minimum, maximum, and mid from there and calculates the compare ratio and range penetration. So here, if I go and see, I will see the salary positioning widget, which shows up the range penetration. This is your range penetration and this is the compare ratio. Now this is the range what is maintained, 65,702, which is minimum. Midpoint is this one, 81, and maximum is 96. And this highlighted portion till here, this is your 75%, 89,160, your annual salary. Clear on pay range? Now let me quickly go and add the other pay ranges as well. Any doubts here? PR 02, pay range 02. Currency is INR. Frequency is annual. Why are you people so silent? We'll have P2 executives. Geozone is Wipro Geozone. Location if you want, otherwise you can leave it. 6600. Save.
I have a
Third,
question. So
yeah, go ahead.
when we can use this combination of legal entity and the three criteria which you have shown us. So
Hmm.
what is the use of location here?
Use of location. Oh, that's what we have discussed, right? Now,
Yeah.
we have added location as one of the association. This is not a standard association. Just to see in the corporate data model how to add association, we have added location. Now, if you want, you can also add the location here. Okay, but if you're adding location, this is multiple location. You need to define for all the locations. Now, I've created 3 locations called Hyderabad, Bangalore, and Mumbai. Okay. So if I am defining, I need to add all the 3 locations for all the pay grades. If I have a different pay range, now let's say I have manager. So manager salary in Hyderabad is different, Bangalore is different, and Mumbai is different. So you create 3 pay ranges for manager, with one with location Hyderabad, one with location Bangalore, and one with location Mumbai. Okay, and when you're hiring employee, when you're hiring a manager with the Hyderabad location, so system will go pick the pay range which you have set with Hyderabad location.
Okay, Venu. Clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm not defining location. If you are not adding location, that means for all the locations, system will not consider location here. If I don't add company, system will only look at the pay grade. For all the employees with this pay grade, system will bring up these values. Okay.
Yes.
PR03. Wipro manager pay range. Currency is INR. Frequency is annual. Minimum pay. P3. Just leave the location blank. Quickly create 2 more pay ranges. If you don't create pay range for all the grades, then system won't display your comparison range penetration. This will be blank. Underscore pay for Pro President pay range. Frequency annual. P4. And the last pay range. Pro underscore P R05. P5. Okay, save it. Now here pay ranges are done. The next object that we have is the pay component. Again, this is very important. Go to pay component. Pay components are nothing but your wage types or salary types. Now, examples can be your basic HRA, special elements, convenience, medical. Okay, so all of these are your pay components. Now these pay components are or can be, they can be paid to employee or they can be deducted from employee salary. Some of the components are paid, like basic HRA, these are paid to the employee. If there are any deductions, salary deductions or PF or income tax, these are deducted from employee salary. So all of those payments and deductions are configured under pay component. Okay, so let's go to the date. Pay component, I will start with 6600. I'll have it as a code. Okay, a name, I'll say Wipro basic salary. Wipro basic salary. Description, if you want, you can add. Status is active. Pay component type, you have amount, percentage. Okay, so number is not generally your number is not given, only amount and the percentage. Somebody must have added number, that's fine. Amount means you add an amount to the employee. A percentage means you add a percentage and you need to define on what component it is the percentage is to be calculated. Now, when you're creating a pay component called HRA, which is 40% or 50% of basic. So when you say base, when you say percentage, it is always on one of the base pay component. So you should also add the base pay component group. So when you choose percentage, system will give you the base pay component group here. This is the additional field which you get when you choose percentage. If it is amount, you will not find that field, because for every employee you'll be adding the amounts. Okay, it is not dependent on any other component. Is earning, yes or no? Yes is paid to the employee, no is deducted from employee salary. If you are creating a deduction, you leave it as no. If you are creating a component which is paid, then have it as yes. Currency, now if you want to use this component for other countries also, for multiple countries, then you don't add any currency. But if you want to use only for your company, which is in India, just choose the currency as INR. Pay component value can also be set. Now, for some components, if there is a fixed amount which is to be paid, components like conveyance or medical, where you have the fixed amount. Let's say you want to set it as 2,000, and this 2,000 is to be paid for every employee, irrespective of the designation. So in that case, you set the value here. So that system defaults this value. Now again, if you want to default it, you can default the pay component for all the employees. Now basic generally is varies from employee to employee. So I will not give any component value. I will leave it blank. How frequently is it paid? Monthly. The frequency is monthly. Recurring means reoccur. Will this component be paid every month or once in a while? If it is once in a while, that is one time, that's called one-time payment. So on the compensation, we have three different sections. One is the regular recurring components, which are mentioned in your offer letter. Generally, now if you open your offer letter, you'll find some components. You split off your CTC, like basic HRA, special elements, or if you have medical and conveyance, it includes that as well. So all of these are paid every month in your salary. Now there might be some components which are paid like whenever you work, like if you have night shift elements or mail elements or some elements which is to be paid other than your regular salary. So that's one-time payment. Or if it is a deduction, if company wants to deduct your salary, go add the one-time deduction. There are other set of components which are to be paid in a certain period. Maybe for next 3 months I want to pay. So that is also a recurring payment and deduction, but not regular. Irregular recurring payments and deductions. So if you want to have the regular recurring components, set it as yes. So if you go to employee profile, here you'll see the compensation section. These are your regular pay components. And you also have recurring payments and deductions. This section is irregular recurring payments and deductions, and this is your one-time payments. Okay, three different sections. Now, if you want to show up in this section, you have it as recurring yes. Tax treatment, do you want tax to be calculated or you don't want to calculate tax? So if you want to have it, just add it as regular. If you don't want, you say no tax. Can override yes or no. If you are giving some value here.
In
Yes.
the tax treatment, what is gross up?
This will add up to the gross. Now, even if you select gross up or no tax or regular, you are not going to calculate or you're not doing any payroll process in Employee Central. Okay, this will be used if you are using Employee Central payroll in the SuccessFactors, which is a cloud payroll system. Or if you are just transferring data from your SuccessFactors Employee Central to the payroll system, so depending on the payroll system, the third-party system that you are using, it could be ADP payroll or it could be SAP payroll or it could be any other payroll. So depending on the configuration that is available on your payroll system, you can configure this. Gross up is just to add your amount to the gross. Okay. Can override? No. Can override? Yes or no. If you have some value here, let's say I want to give 2000 and this 2000 is to be defaulted for every employee and I don't want users to change this value. For all the employees, it should be 2000 only. So in this case, you go can override, set it as no. If I say can override, set it as yes, and if I add a value of 2000, system will default 2000 for the employees. And if you want to change the value from 2000 to 1000 or 2500, system allows you. Okay, so I'll just remove this. Can override, yes. Self-service description, what do you want to see this as? Basic salary. Display on self-service, yes, I want to display. Used for compensation planning, this is for the compensation module. If you want to use this component in the compensation module, you go choose whether comp module or variable pay module or both of these modules. Now, I will leave it as it is because I don't want to use it in the compensation planning. Recurring payments and deduction, this section, recurring payments and deduction. If you say yes, it shows up here. Maximum decimal places, how many decimals you want to have? Oh, either default, whatever values that you input, it takes, or if you want to have control the decimal places to 0, 1 or 2 places, you can choose the value. Okay, this is just a test field which is added. Then enable end dated payments. Some components, if you want to have the end date for the component, like starting from today, I want to have this component paid to the employee till December 31st, where you know the end date. So you go add it as end date, yes. Now generally the components like basic HRA, we don't know what is the end date. We might give increment or we may not give increment. Or we don't know when we are going to give increment, maybe December or Jan or Feb or March or April. So you just input the value and leave it. Every month, because it is a recurring, every month it keeps paying that amount. It keeps add that amount to the employee's payroll. Okay, so enable end dated payment, I'll say no. Any doubts here on pay components? I will also add some more pay components. One more under regular, one under recurring payments and deductions, and one under payments, one-time payments. Meanwhile, if you have any doubts on pay components, you can ask. 6601.
We have discussed about gross salary means earning and deduction. So what about employer part, employer contribution?
Employer contribution. This is for PF.
Yeah, PF, and in some company gratuity is also part of
What do you
employer.
want to show it as? Do you want to show it as a payment to the employee or deducted from the employee salary?
No, it's payment to employee, but not in gross salary. Na?
Yeah, not in the gross salary.
Yes.
Now we have something called here pay component group. The next object actually.
Okay.
You have pay component and pay component group. So once you create all of your pay components, you will be adding or grouping all of the pay components that you want to pay your employee. So here, if you see, this is your pay component group. This is your pay component group. You have only one component. If it is only one component, it shows up the total of that into annual. Now, this is paid monthly, semi-monthly. So system will multiply that into whatever number, 24 or whatever number. If you have multiple components like HRA, special allowance, convenience, and so on, you need to add all of them into your annualized salary. Then only it will add and show you. If you don't add any component, even if it is available in this section, but if it is not part of your pay component group, it won't show up under that component, pay component group. Okay.
Okay.
Now here, I will take this as a percentage. And whenever you have chosen a percentage, now you need to choose on which component your system has to calculate the percentage. This is also paid. This one should be in INR and it should be 50%. And this is also linked like, where is that? Can override? No, you leave it no. Frequency is monthly. Recurring, yes. Tax treatment, you want tax to be calculated regular. Self-service description, HRA, display and self-service, yes. Self-service is for employees. This one, no. Decimal places, save. I will create one more component, which is bonus. Pay component. 01/01/2022. 6602 Wipro bonus. This is payment. Is earning, yes. Currency INR. Pay component value, we don't have any value. Frequency is, I'll say, annual. Recurring, no. Sorry. Recurring, no. Tax treatment, add it. Can override, yes. It is bonus. I want to show this. This one also, no. Because it should show up on one-time payment section. So yes. If you want a deduction, now let me also create a deduction. Level 603.
But Venu, the earlier question, which one of our
Is earning, no.
trainee has asked,
Hmm.
yeah. So that do we define in EC the PF contribution for employee and employer?
If you want to show up, in the employee profile, yes, you can define.
Okay.
Okay, but any of, if you statutory part, even if you don't define here, now ECP is similar to your SAP HR payroll. It is not similar, it is actually the same system, but SAP HCM payroll is on premise and ECP, the Employee Central payroll, it is a cloud payroll system. You will have all the screens same as your SAP. Now, when you process the payroll for any employee within that particular country, system processes all of the statutory parts like gratuity and so on. So where you have your own pay components. Okay, these are called technical wage types, and all of these technical wage types you will find by default in the payroll system.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can override, yes.
So in that case, if we have a requirements, some requirement of this type of configuration, so of course the customer will provide us with the data, right? What we need to put for the employee or what we need to maintain here,
Yes, they'll
because
give
it will
all
be
the pay
different for different
components.
employees.
Yes. Okay, so now I have created 4 pay components. Okay, 2 of them are regular recurring components. One of it is one-time payment and one of it is the deduction, salary deduction. Okay, now once you have created the pay components, in this system we have the association. Now pay component is associated with country here in this system. Now, it can be associated with country in case if your customer is having their operations in different countries. Now, why do we have to associate with the country is, now, if each country has got 20 pay components, okay. Now, if you don't associate your pay component with the country, and if your client is having 5 different, they have their operations in 5 different countries. So 5 into 20 pay components, it will become 100 pay components. And these 100 pay components will show up in the drop down. And users, the end users may get confused which component to be used. Looking at the pay component, they it is difficult to understand whether it is to be used only for USA or only for India or only for China or only for Japan. So if you associate your pay component with country, system will only show those pay components which are relevant for that country. Okay, so now this is a demo system where we have companies with various countries. So we have association between pay component and country. So every time you create a pay component, you should go add your pay component to the country. So country is also an MDF object. So you will have to maintain it in manage data. Go to manage data. Select your country. You're not creating country. You're choosing the country, existing country or region. It is named as country or region. Search for India. Go search for India. Now see here. Here you have the foundation object pay component. And this is one-to-many association. It is defined as one-to-many association. That means you can add many pay components. Now add all those pay components which you want to show for country India. Now, if employee belongs to a company which is in India, they will see all of these pay components in the drop down. So let me also add our components 6600 6601. Okay, let me do one thing. Insert new record because I have created my pay components from 2022. 6601 02 and 03. So now all the employees of India will also see these components. Along with these 4 components, they will also see these components as well. Clear? Now if I go search for United States. United States, no, these are the pay components specific to US. Okay. And I'll quickly add the pay component group as well, because that is also part of your pay components. Now, the next object that we have is the pay component group, but I'll not be creating any pay component group because we already have a pay component group called annualized salary, which is totaling all of the pay components that you have. So I will go use the existing pay component group and I'll add all of my pay components to that pay component group called annualized salary. This is your pay component group. Now, as of now, we have these many components added to the annualized salary. I'll go add my pay components as well. Add 6600. I don't have to add salary deduction. I'll just have to add these two. Bonus, I don't want it to be part of my annualized salary. I want only basic and HRA to be part of my annualized salary. So these two components. Now we have these many components for annualized salary. That means, do we have to add all of these things? No. You choose any of the pay components from the list, system will add and show it up under annualized salary. Like if I have added 4 components, basic, HRA and car allowance, and you have annual incentive. If I have added these 4 pay components for my employee, system will add this and show it up under annualized salary. Is that clear? Yes or no?
Sir, yes, sir. Sir, I have a question regarding the technical waste type. You told something about the technical waste type,
That's
about the
in
calculation of
SAP.
the income tax.
Yeah, that's in SAP, not here in SuccessFactors.
Okay, so that is automatically calculated in success factor, correct?
Yeah. No, not in SuccessFactors. We don't process any payroll.
Okay.
So now Employee Central, we maintain the master data. Okay. Now the payroll
So what is
processing,
EC payroll then?
sorry.
So what is EC payroll then? Then EC payroll is there, and payroll is
EC payroll is a different module. Okay. Now that is the
okay.
cloud payroll. That's called the cloud payroll module. Okay. Now it is the replica of your SAP HCM into cloud. Now all the screens what you have in SAP, you will find it in the ECP also. But again, you will not be accessing those transactions. Okay. In SAP GUI, you will be accessing all of them in the payroll cloud system. Like how you are using Employee Central, you will use the Employee Central payroll, but it will take you to another web page and not in this application. Okay. Now, if I go here, say payroll here. Now, payroll, you will not find it in the demo system. So there is no data here. It takes you to a different screen, altogether a different web page. Okay.
Venu,
Hmm.
see in this pay component group, there is no association, right?
Pay component group. Sorry.
There is no association with
No, we
the
have a pay component group. We have the pay component as the association.
pay component has association to the pay component group,
Yes.
and pay component is having location has the location or country has the association.
Yeah. Country has got association of pay component there.
Acha, country has got okay, vice versa. So for this pay component group, it gets bifurcated on pay component only, right? Pay component group is getting bifurcated on pay component depending on
Hmm.
the country.
Hmm. Now, this is not depending on the country. Now, if you go and look at annualized salary, you don't have any currency here. You can add any pay components here, irrespective of country.
So that
Now,
means there is
the
no need to
annualized
create.
salary, yes, annualized salary can be used for any country. Now, it will show for all the employees.
So that means like I was asking why I was asking because like there is no need to create one more this pay component group actually for annualized salary because it is getting bifurcated anyways in pay component only.
No, sorry, I lost it. Can you
No, what is the
reframe?
what is the actual purpose of creating this pay component group when it is getting bifurcated itself through pay component only?
Hmm. Now, why we are creating the pay component group is to show the employee. Now, when you add the pay components, it is like your CTC. Now, if I go to compensation, current pay, if you have multiple components here, 4 or 5 components here. Okay.
Okay.
Generally in India, we have the split of your CTC into different components
Hmm.
because of the taxation part. Okay. So we have basic, we have HRA, we have convenience, we have medical, okay, and other components. So this will show up your monthly salary. Okay. Let's say your basic is monthly 10,000. HRA is monthly 5,000. Your conveyance is monthly to 1,000. Okay.
Hmm.
So that is paid monthly.
Hmm.
Now your annualized salary will give you the salary that you'll get paid annual per year. Now what
Hmm.
system does is system calculates this, the frequency of the pay component. Now my basic is monthly, HRA is monthly,
Hmm.
medical is monthly, and bonus is annual. I want all of them to be part of my CTC. Now your annualized salary is like your CTC.
Hmm.
Okay. So it will get paid every month, and system will, while calculating this monthly salary to annualized salary, system will multiply this into 12 because
Hmm.
your basic is getting paid monthly and
Hmm.
you're showing the annualized salary, the pay component group. So system will
Hmm.
add all of the pay components, multiply the pay components with the annualization factor, and then show the total of that. Now here, if I go to any employee here, it shows 242016. What is 242106? Why it is 242106? It is showing here 2168.
Hmm.
Why it is 2168? And now here 2168. This one into 12.
Into 12.
This is 242016.
Hmm.
Now if I add more components here, which are part of your
Regular
annualized
salary.
salary, so those
Hmm.
will also be included in this total.
Okay. So this just we are adding to the component group all these components, right? But
Yeah.
we are not
What all
mentioning
components? Hmm.
in
Good.
components only. We are like let's say basic pay and HRA and DA. We
Hmm.
have added these three components in the component section
Pay component
uh,
group. Hmm.
as a recurring regular things.
Yes.
Right, and I have got only for let's say for in company there are two countries. One country is
Hmm.
India and other country is USA. In USA, I
Hmm.
got only basic pay.
Hmm.
And when coming back to this component, I have got two basic pays and one HRA and one DA. There are four pay
Hmm.
components.
Hmm.
They have got in country association. They got association with their own countries. In this
Yes.
component group,
Hmm.
I have added all these four
Four.
components.
Hmm.
Right now, it is universal to all these things. There is no association specifically. There is no association to the country. Neither there is any calculation. Only for naming sake, it is there as annualized salary.
Hmm.
So
Yes.
where is this calculation exactly happening? How it is getting bifurcated?
Now the calculation happens on the annualized salary, and we have the frequency also, right? For every pay component, we are giving the frequency. Okay. Now here, if I go select basic or Wipro basics or 6600. Now if you see here, the frequency, what we give here, where is that? Monthly. Okay.
Monthly.
Now the frequency is monthly. How does
Hmm.
system know if tomorrow if I use monthly 13 or monthly 14 or monthly 15? Okay. Or semi-monthly or quarterly or half yearly. If I use those components, how will system know that? No, system has to calculate it as 12 or 24 or 36 or 2080. Hourly it is 2080. Now
Yeah.
this is
But here you are
defined at
saying
the
as
frequency level. Now if you go
okay.
to frequency and search for monthly, and every frequency you maintain the annualization factor. If it
Okay.
is 12 here for monthly, and similarly the quarterly, it is quarterly 4. If you go search
Hmm.
for semi-monthly, now if I choose semi-monthly for any component, so system will multiply into 24 to get the annual salary. Now if I go check for annual, it is 1. Now there might be some pay components which are set as for which we have set as the annual frequency. Okay.
Okay.
Now the pay component group always calculates it into annualized salary, your annual.
So in this, like you have showed in the pay component, the frequencies monthly, semi-monthly, and whatever it is, what is the duration it is. But in here,
Yeah.
annualization salary.
No, you don't
Uh,
have to. You don't have to maintain the frequency here. Otherwise, people will maintain quarterly and so on here. Now, annualized
hmm,
salary. The purpose of creating the pay component group is to show the salary per annum.
hmm.
Okay.
So
Now,
yes,
this,
hmm,
yeah, these pay components. Now, all of them are not monthly. There might
yes,
be some components which are
yes.
semi-monthly, quarterly, half-yearly, bi-weekly, and so on. But
Hmm.
when calculating to annual salary, system will go find the annualization factor maintained on the frequency and then multiplies with that number.
Uh, and when it is checking the frequency, is it checking the association of that component also? That component association is also being checked, right? If not,
Yes.
many waste types, like many pay components are there here.
Yes.
So where is that thing? Like, is it in the
Now,
code only? It is written
no,
like that,
it's in
or
the
like?
code only. It is in the
Oh,
code. You cannot modify that or you cannot change that.
okay. Yeah, got it, got it.
Yeah.
So if we, for example, if we don't maintain any, it is mandatory to maintain the association of the country, right? Without a country association, there is no pay component.
No, in scenarios where you have your customer operations only in one country, there you don't have to maintain country.
In that
Only
case,
if only if you don't want to show your all your pay components to every employee, you maintain a country association.
see, if there is no country association, let's say there are n number of pay components. This
Hmm.
pay component group will take all these pay components and it will calculate a different salary, right? If we don't have a bifurcation with the
No,
uh,
here
country.
this is not linked to country. See here,
Okay.
your pay component is associated with country. This you will
Hmm.
use only if customer has operations in multiple countries. Each country you create certain number of pay components. So it
Hmm.
would be difficult for users to choose what pay component to be assigned. Now, if you have 10 countries and
Hmm.
each country has got 20 pay components, 20 into 10, 200 components. If you go to
Hmm.
the employee profile, the drop down, it will show up all the 200 list of pay components. So
Yes.
which will be difficult for user to choose the pay component. Now, if I associate country with the pay component, what happens is system will filter all the pay components based on the country of the employee. Annual salary, you're not adding any country to the annual salary. Annual salary is same for everyone. Now,
Hmm.
if you have one component, that will be added to your annual salary. You have 4 components, then 4 of those components will be added to annual salary.
Hmm.
It is not country specific.
Okay, okay. So everything depends on, like, main calculation is done in pay component on basing on the frequency.
Yes.
Okay, and like in SAP, like there is like something called waste type model. When you just to open the pay component screen like info type 8,
Hmm.
all these things will get defaulted to the screen automatically, basing on the
Hmm.
employee grouping or whatever
Hmm.
it is,
Here
right?
you need, yeah, here you need to write a logic to add these pay components. You can also default the pay components or set of pay components to a particular employee. So you need to
So in
write a
that case,
logic, what all components you want to add, and now adding or multiplication, all of those things can be done in the
so writing a logic is nothing but business rule, you meant to say, right?
business rule. Yes.
Oh, okay, okay, got it.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll stop it here for today and we'll continue on Monday. Okay. Tomorrow and day after tomorrow you have off, weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Try to create all of these objects, whatever that we have discussed so far. We have couple of more objects which we have to create before we go and hire employees. Okay, we have event reason, we have job code and position. That we'll be discussing on Monday. Probably on Tuesday, we'll go and hire employee. We'll look at the employee master data, the succession and the country specific succession data model. Okay.
Okay, Venu.
Thank you all. Have a happy
Thank
weekend.
you.
Thank you, Anu. See you soon.